Huh? Yes, sir. What?
Bro, I gotta turn up, man.
Come on, man. Hey. Definitely with this remix.
Hey, man. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Wale Origins. I'm here with the fam. We got Auntie Candy, Annie Bullsy. We got Tall Grass and the bro Monte. It's more of a free bill, Freestyle Friday. We're going to do a quick recap from last night. We'll touch on some things that may have been missed. And then we'll just go from there. Once people start joining in and hitting the comments with questions, the comments will pop up on the screen and we'll go side by side and answer those questions. So before we do get started, we just gonna free build while we all get the link out, share the YouTube link and things like that. So if y'all want to introduce yourself, Tall Grass, Monte, it's the time. Go on ahead, brother.
Hey, Chinetamo, Itimokleate, Anibichita Sekai Pahayoke, Chihiklo, Ahiklosha, or Anliachomi. And you know what I'm saying? What I just said is greetings. I am young warrior Tallgrass. How are you? I am well, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get it started. We're gonna get it pumping. Shout out to Wale Origins for having me on the platform. You know, that's family, that's big cuz, man. Big yate. We going in.
Greetings.
Cheers.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, family. I gotta get with the language, but I appreciate Wale Origins for bringing me on. I've been rocking with him for 3 years now, and been nothing but deep information coming across. So we gonna turn it up tonight.
Cheers. So last night, y'all know y'all caught the bill last night. That anything that y'all wanted to bring back up, touch on. Hold on, Auntie. If you can unmute, let me unmute and see if my auntie or my uncle can hear us. Hello.
Uh, we can hear you all.
Nephew. Not
Introduce.
on. He said nephew.
Well, I'll turn the mic off. I'm sorry, nephew, but I give you all greetings too. This is Uncle Zed, but I thank you all.
Cheers. So, y'all boys, let's talk about last night, man. What's going on, bro? While I'm sending this link out. Let me see. You
Definitely
want me
seen,
talk to me,
definitely,
T?
definitely heard some daggers last night, and then not only that, elaborated on this morning I seen on Facebook and Instagram. So hey, cuz got the chat GPT on fire over there. Chat
Yeah,
GPT can't keep up right now. So yeah, look like AI kind of taking two L's the last couple of days.
What? That boy beat AI in the debate. Damn it, man.
that would trip me out though, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie, when the computer thanked me for getting it right, bro, that shit was like, man, who the hell really programming these computers, bro?
Hey, get what, bro? Like, hey, ever since AI came out, I always said this, brother. Artificial intelligence can never beat original intelligence. OI. You know what I'm
Facts,
talking about? AI
facts,
can never beat OI. You feel me?
facts,
That's
Never.
just like us trying to beat
Never.
who programmed us.
facts. That's what I'm talking about. And like with 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 how it answered the question, right? When I asked it like, "What's your proof?" The computer think like is programmed to think like the average scholar in that subject, right? So it literally gave me a list of reasons why they should be classified as Muskogee. That's what really blew me. It's like, damn, like you really going, you know what I'm saying? Or people really argue for that.
AI
Yeah, I
playing
feel you.
AI is playing the false man side.
Yeah.
This Uncle Zed, I'm gonna chime in now, but
Yeah, I know you.
yeah,
I know you
y'all
have
right,
what's
y'all
going on?
right, y'all right. I Robot, you feel me? The movie I Robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got. I mean, I was scared to chime in yesterday because my nephew been giving me more and more knowledge, but I just have to figure out my questions. And like I said to y'all earlier, gratitude to you guys and for participating in this and helping me learn. But no, I'm listening to y'all. I just had to, just say like iRobot, like y'all saying. It's like they trying to make. It's a show I watch on Netflix, a reality show called The Circle, and they just implemented a character, but he's an AI. So when they just had to cancel somebody and try to figure out who the AI was, they canceled a flesh being. You feel me? Like none of them couldn't know it's a man who worked. He worked with AIs, but he couldn't even figure out who the AI was. They
Mm.
like
Strong.
so.
They break up.
No, I said they canceled somebody with flesh on a show that I watched called The Circle. They implemented a character. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard
They
that. I said at the
implemented
end you were breaking up.
I'm just saying like they could it's a man that works and he built AIs for like cars and everything, but he couldn't even detect who the AI was, even though this is a show. Shit could be staged. But like no, I just had it, because y'all talking about that.
Yeah, so like with that, my thing is hold on, let me make sure because I don't want the background echoing and make sure I can get all right. With that, the thing is humans are programmed the same way. So when stuff like this is being studied or we looking into it, this is why I say you have to think inside the box. Because if someone would think outside the box, they would have tried to argue um, with the AI as opposed to asking it questions, right? If they're gonna instill in the AI to be the teacher, then at some point we should be okay with being the student. That's literally how you crack the code. So when the code was cracked, the computer literally said, "Thank you for sharing that with me. I'll take that into consideration." Or "Thank you, that's
Oh,
a good point. I never thought about that." You get what I'm
uh-huh,
saying? So again,
Right.
with scholars programming the computers, they're programmed to think just like those that are teaching the masses. You feel me?
uh-huh,
So
uh-huh.
that's really what that's about. So it's not hard. You just have to know what questions to ask.
Not like you said, you programmed to listen to the teacher, right? When we was growing up, when y'all were growing up, what we were programmed to listen to the teachers.
And that and
Like
all of those who weren't, we would call outcasts. Like niggas like me that didn't listen
exactly.
to the teacher. Like you get what I'm saying? Like somebody like me that was in the classroom and I explained this to my wife. I was like, I was the one that'd tell the teacher they wrong. Like you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
Basically, like
yeah.
that
And
type of
then what they did,
that type of
nephew, what they
brain is
did,
the brain that break the system. Because
and what they did to
if a
those
student
students,
can tell a teacher that you're wrong, say what?
what they did to those type of students, they tried to label them and then probably put them in what they call LD or the boogie or something wrong. Like you feel me?
Right, and that's it. Right, and it's because the world don't think like these children. You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh,
Um,
uh-huh.
the world think like the program. That's the difference between those that believe one way and got taught different last night. You get what I'm saying? Like I had the conversation with somebody today. Watch this, tall grass. You can hear me, cuz I want you to chime
Hell
in
yeah.
on this too.
All
So
right.
I had made a post about Wale, and somebody was like, "Oh, they was like, oh, wouldn't it be more beneficial if everybody basically put their differences to the side and came together basically like under one banner, one language and shit like that?" And I responded, of course not, because that literally how Wale got removed from the land. But you get what I'm saying? So like,
And
what you think about this is freestyle? I'm just going all over the
Chai,
place. What you think
Chai,
about
but
that?
I think a lot about that shit. Chai, like, okay, so like, that's literally like how, first of all, that's literally how languages, get written out of history. That's how people get written out of history because they connected to their own language. You feel me? And how, that's also one of the reasons why they classify Wale as a Muskogean language. You feel me? That's literally one of the reasons because we spoke Muskogee and we spoke all these different languages, but still had our own language. That's one of the reasons why they classified us as such. You feel me? And a lot of the other nations, even the Temuco, you feel me? But they don't really speak on the Temuco though, even though the Temuco language and the Wale language was more related than
Very
than than Wale and
facts.
Muskogee.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Even though they was their own two separate languages, the Temuco and Wale languages was more similar than Muskogee or Hichiti. You feel me? So, uh, Chai man, Chai, that statement right there, it's I mean, as a I'd say on a smaller scale, thinking on a smaller scale, like without all the complications, yeah, that'd be fine. But it's more intricate and it's way too complicated for that. You see what I'm saying? That's just like everybody who speak English, like fuck all the other stuff, fuck everything we come from or whatever, whether we German, whether we whatever. We speak English. We gonna go under the English nation and we English. That's not how it go.
Right, that's not how that work. And peace, greetings to everybody coming in. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe, leave some comments, leave some questions in the comments so we can answer those. Bro, the answer you gave him is the same thing I gave him in so many words. It's like with certain forms of unification, you have loss of culture.
Facts.
So if the computer end up saying, "Oh, this is," let me see if I can find it. But the computer gave me 5 reasons as to why Wale should be classified as Muskogee, and let me read these reasons. And this is what I mean, right? So I say, what proof do you have? Here are 5 reasons, not including the full, because I know y'all don't want me to read this whole thing, bro. But it say early European accounts, linguistic analysis, comparative linguistics, ethnographic and archaeological research, historical records. So those are five points they argued to use that Wale was Muskogee. So with those 5 points, all of those were used to remove the Wale from who they were. You literally have people saying we didn't exist at certain points for the simple fact that Europeans stopped using our name on paper. So yeah.
Come on, man, and that's a fact. You feel me? And it's just so crazy. Like if you, cause it's just so crazy how they. I mean, I'm I kind of try. I kind of struggle like with their conclusions on I really want to know that list that AI gave you. You feel me on why the Wale are considered Muskogee because I have a hard time like just based off language alone, and this is just based off language alone. Based off language alone, like I don't know, I have a hard time like you know uh evaluating like why they feel to classify Wale as a Muskogee. You know what I'm saying? Because the languages it's different as hell now. And even the Yuchi language is very different. It's so different that they just couldn't classify that as Muskogee, even though some scholars try to. Some scholars even try to.
Let me ask this. Is the reason why they classify the Wale as Muskogee is the same reason why they try to tie in the Yamase with Wale? Because what I just looked at the Yamase website, and I'm actually looking at an app. I'm looking at the Native Land app, and I'm in the Wale region. So when I pull it up, there's only two there's only two tribes that tie into the Wale, and it shows Yamase and Muskogee. Says Muskogee for the language. Says Muskogee for the language, and Yamase is the closest nearest tribe. So the, my question would be is if the Yamase records only trace back to on paper what they say to be between 1500s and 17 and the start of 1700s, then how would how would the languages be similar to or generalized to be Muskogee if Muskogee don't come until much later?
Okay, so I partially agree. You know what I'm saying? The first part you said, I definitely agree. Like, that's. Well, I agree with you all around, you know what I'm saying? But what I don't agree with them is the part you just said. Like, how could it be, how could you try to, classify these people as people who was there way before them, like way before them. You
Right,
feel
because
me?
it's like
Like
it's
it's a big
generalized in a
gap.
different way.
It's a big gap, so it's like way before them. But the part that I agree with, is like them classifying Wale as Yamasi the same how they classify Wale as Muskogee, and the same as they classify Yamasi as Muskogee. You feel me?
Right. And then I'm looking at it as saying like the only language that come up is Muskogee. That could not be true if Muskogee don't even come till way later. Like that don't even add up. If the people was already, if you got proof that the people was already here
Them
thousands of
facts,
years before, like
right?
it
Them
just don't
facts.
make sense.
I'm talking about super thousands. Like,
Yo.
man,
Right.
if they would have caught them bills, me and Chai got down. If they would have caught them bills, Chai been doing, man. Listen, man, way before, man. I'm talking about
I'll
prehistoric.
facts. I'll
You
say this
understand
much,
me?
right? I'll say this much. The Amasi, though are our cousins today, they were not the closest people to us. Us and the Tamuk were way closer than us and the Amasi. Um,
Right.
to
They
the
like
point,
first cousins type
like
shit.
yeah, like bro, for when I say first cousin, like I mean we spoke their language in their dialect. They spoke our language and our dialect. So it wasn't a Tamukwa branch of Wale. There wasn't a Wale branch of Tamukwa. When we spoke their language, we spoke it just like them. There was no difference. You get what I'm saying? Like that you couldn't tell the difference. So with that being said,
And you actually correct on that. I just seen that. It does show that Timucua has their own language. Uh,
And then see with that being said, you know, it would be also safe to say that of course it was intermingling. If you got two nations and they exchanging language on that level, which is barely seen throughout nations. You know what I'm saying? Of course you got some nations, but it's barely seen that they're that close.
facts. And the thing is, right, is this is why I said I wouldn't give out who exactly was the oldest people in the Southeast, is because, how can I say it with is because people tend to want to cling on to other people's stuff, bro. That's not fair. You get what I'm saying? It's really not fair, bro. So when someone say like how they say that the Wale are Muskogee, it's for them to be able to give credit to a people um that they conquered. Why? Because everything that would be Wale would then be rightfully theirs by conquest. This is something fairly simple if you think about it. I don't know if y'all ever thought about that.
Nah, that's that. Nah. You hit the nail on the head, Chai.
Yeah. Because
Shit, like always.
and the thing is, us and the Yamasi became close by name. Like what they won't what a lot of people won't explain is, I'll pull it up. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Y'all boys could, you feel me? Free bill, open mics, man. Open mics, y'all. Free the mics, man. Free the mics, y'all. Free the
He's
titty.
talking about freedom
Come out,
mics.
man.
I got to do some more reading real quick before I
This is crazy.
ask another question, because I just pulled up the Tamukwa website, Republic of Tamukwa, and let me do some reading. They got a lot of links on here and a lot of information on here, so I'm gonna start digging. And I did also see another tribe close by. I'm not sure how old they are though. Let me because it do show the Tamukwa and the Wale
Uh-oh.
are the closest in territory, excuse me, in territory, also in language. Now I just saw that. So, and the Muskogee still shows them as a interior tribe, even like for the language to come close to the Wale or the Tamukwa. They actually are way further interior, like Georgia, more close to Georgia um versus the Tamukwa or the Wale. Now I did see something else like I don't know where it went. Mokama.
Mokoma.
Yeah, Macoma. Yep.
Okay, I just saw that pop up, but I don't know if that's
That's
like a.
Tamukwa. That's the same word.
Oh, okay, cool. I was just about to say I didn't know if that's like a different tribe or closely related. So yeah, I'm on here now. About to read into, because I don't know much about the Tamukwa. So I'm about to do some digging into that now that I'm on they national website. So I'm about to get some reading into that. That way, I always want to let the people know I'm always a student. I'm always gonna be in here picking up the knowledge, and I'm always gonna pick up where we leave off at. So
For
yeah, I'm
sure.
always tapped in.
Um, I'm gonna share my screen to y'all. Y'all know when I share my screen, glitches sometime. So let me know if y'all can't hear me. Just open y'all mics and let me know if y'all can't hear me when I am talking. That's cool.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Mohawk, I sent you the link, bro. All you have to do is take that link and then put it into stream or app. Anyone who wants the link, just comment here and I'll send it to you. So let me share this for y'all. I actually have this in paper form. Remember what I said? 90% of what I got or what I show on here, I actually got that. So all of this stamp, everything, I actually have this. Y'all can see it.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's do some reading. Hold on, let's do some reading. Um, so we're gonna start from E. We're gonna start from E. I think I want to do E, F, and G. So Yamasi Indian towns in the South Carolina Low Country, 1684 to 1715. Now, before I do this, viewer discretion is advised. What's going to be explained here is They are our cousins. We did become known as Yamasi. However, Wale rarely has his own recognition. So I just gonna read this. I just wanted to give that before we before I do go ahead and continue. So it
Can
says the
I add
first.
something? Can I add something real quick?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what you were saying about the Wale not having it, not rarely having their own recognition, and that's so true. They're always the remnants of this, or the
Right.
the remnants of these people migrated with these people or mixed with these people, or you know what I'm saying. It's always
Right.
something of that nature. It's very rare that you will see the Wale. You know what I'm saying, being
Mhm.
being attributed to their own. I just
To
want to
their
say
own. And we're gonna find out why. We know why, but for those who don't know or who may not have access to the records, we gonna read why cousin. We gonna build on it throughout this. So, uh, the first mention of the peoples who later became Yamasi Indians can be found in accounts describing the earliest European expeditions into the area now occupied by the states of South Carolina and Georgia. So, I want to highlight this part here. Okay, we're gonna highlight this in red. This is something to hold on to. Says the Ilion expedition, which attempted to settle somewhere along the South Atlantic coast in 1526, may have encountered the Indians of Wale on the coast of present-day Georgia. Although there is currently some dispute concerning precisely where Ilion and his colonists landed. Of the peoples of Guadalupe or Guadalupe, right? Or Guadalupe it's just really how you're supposed to say it. Visited by Ilion were the Wale. When this is our first record, then this is our first recorded reference to these peoples by Europeans. Now, this is wrong, being that the French did come in contact with the Wale first. If you, I don't know if y'all know that tall grass. I know you know that. Um, but this is dealing with the English. So 16th century documents indicate that the Wale were a large society composed of approximately 4,000 to 6,000 people living in about 35 towns at the time. I thought it was going to continue. The Wale were coastal dwellers whose way of life, adapted to exploration of the coastal marshes and tidal creeks of their homeland. Their hunting and collecting for food was supplemented by agriculture. So we spoke about this yesterday. Um, as opposed to them hunting, they began eating what? Corn. It was something easy. Okay. Let's skip down. We're gonna go here. So it says Hernando de Soto, another Spanish explorer, was the first to visit the Indians of Tama in the interior. So Monte, Tama was a part of Mocoma, right? And some will say it wasn't, but those that know what was actually going on. Um, let's go down to E2. So it says during the first half of the 17th century, the Wale and the Tama fared quite differently in the face of an ever-growing European presence in the region. The Spanish continued their efforts to missionize the Wale and encourage them to lead settled lives in large permanent villages surrounding the mission stations. I need to put my contacts in. I do this every night. Matter of fact, I could blow this up. There we go. Traditional Wale beliefs and values were belittled by the Spanish, who intended to convert these heathens into good Catholics. The people of Tama, on the other hand, had little contact with the Spanish during the early decades of the 17th century. Only a few small come on, change up for me. It's frozen. Give me one moment. There we go. Where we at? Only a few small military expeditions expeditions passed through Tama, and none of these stayed long or appears to have had any significant impact on these people, on the peoples that they encountered. Beginning about 1660, conditions began to change. We read over this yesterday, right? Dealing directly with the corn. At about that time, the Westo Indians settled on the Savannah River near present-day Augusta, Georgia. The Westo moved into the area from the north with guns obtained from Virginia traders. Using these guns, the Westo began raiding neighboring groups, including the Wale, who did not have guns because the Spanish never established a trade system to dispute goods to their Indian allies. By 1661, Wale refugees had settled around the walls of St. Augustine in an effort to escape the attacks of the Westo, who the Spanish called Chichimicos. The Westo staged raids against all of their neighbors. When the English arrived in 1670 to settle their New Carolina colony, the coastal Indians of that province professed great fear of the Westo, who were thought to be cannibalistic. In reality, the Westo were taking slaves, not for cannibalism, but so they could be sold as slaves in the Virginian markets. In this way, the Westo were able to obtain guns and other trade goods from Virginia. So, open mic. Let's talk about this. Open mic. What y'all think? What y'all think about what's going on now with the war and all of this and the changes?
Man, the Westo was ravaging shit. The
Hold
Westo.
on, we got a new guest, cuz.
Oh,
What's
that's Panther.
cracking?
That's Panther. I added him to the stage.
Yeah, hold on. We got a new guest. Got a new guest.
Everybody, let's go. Nigga, let's go. To a motherfucking place that you ain't never been.
Truth. Cuz you got the flow. Introduce yourself.
Cool. Can y'all hear me good?
We got you. Let me mute up. We got you.
Let me start off by saying Yaraba, Hue Bueno Lucero, Nimantala. Shit, am I? But that's my name. I said hello. My name is Panthers Paul in my Timucua Coney language. I just want to hop on here and, you know what I'm saying, build with the good brothers, you know what I'm saying? Y'all already know what's good. So, yeah.
Let's go, Panther, aka Skinny Mohawk in the building, man. You feel me?
Yeah,
Skinny Mohawk forever.
no
Yeah.
problem.
So,
You know me, my nigga, man. Shut it up,
ain't
man.
no good. Told y'all tall grass ain't no good, boy.
That nigga
That
crazy, man.
crazy, Chai.
What y'all
So
Hey,
let
I'm
doing?
over
me.
here dying laughing, but for sure we continue though.
All right. So it says, shortly after settling at Charlestown, the English sent Henry Woodward up the Savannah River to treat with the Westo. Woodward was able to negotiate a peaceful alliance with the Westo, and for the next several years, they were close allies of the English, who supplied them with guns and ammunition. So not only are they getting guns from Virginia, right, as we read right here, they also are getting guns from Charlestown. So they have two forms of arming themselves, and this is something I want to highlight here too in red. Now it's gonna definitely get interesting. These weapons were used to attack and intimidate the Westos less armed neighbors by one moment. Let me let this bird fly over. Hold on. I don't know why everybody want to aggravate me tonight. People over here washing their houses and all tonight, but I swear to God. So,
Hey, you just
all
said
right.
hold
So
up,
it
Shahi.
says,
Hey, I got a question, and I know this
nah.
is really
Go ahead, buddy.
this
Talk to me.
this question is a general question. I know everybody on this panel know the answers, but I'm gonna ask this question for the people that'll be watching on YouTube. Okay, so as we're reading this, and I saw a comment said this story kind of pissed me off, and I kind of agree because now I'm starting to see like why when the European came over here, they keep records of everything that they do. Correct, I understand that. And so if that be the case, they also obviously had to speak to different tribes and natives wherever they came across. So why wouldn't they get their actual story and record their actual story that way for future references? Say as for like right now, we wouldn't get actual facts versus a rendition of the Europeans version. And I
Ooh,
say that just because I know that the chat, I mean not the chat, but I know that YouTube would probably the people on YouTube watching might probably think like that because we're reading stuff from 1675 records or accounts of records, but we also know like we already just talked about, it goes back further than that. So if it go back further than that, why wouldn't they have true accounts of the people that actually lived there versus them making records of their own? Just a general question.
All right. So you talking about the indigenous people or the Europeans?
The indigenous people, like not
Okay.
us making
Okay.
the records, because I know that it might not have been written, it might have been spoken, and that's
Right.
understood. But I'm talking about so when the European got here and they
Mm.
try to write down their own records of our people's accounts, why is it not more, it don't feel like it's more genuine, it feel like they watered it down bef-
Eh,
on paper, you know what I mean?
nah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely agree. That's why I was trying. That's why I was making sure I knew where you was going or where we were going with it. I know it would be because if it's like if we depending on who's behind the scenes is how you will boast about what's being done. You get what I'm saying? So
Okay.
what I mean by that is the English had a tendency to hide the numbers of how many, let's say like if they went to war, right, they would hide the numbers of how many people they actually killed because of that the Indians or the indigenous people they were dealing with were actually British allies. So when the traders were over here doing the dirty shit, that's exactly who was doing the note taking, because it wasn't the traders were the government. You get me? When they sent their people over here to do business with the indigenous people, that's who was keeping record. So, what we do have is this: you do have instances where you have different what they called skinny mohawk. You know the my bad panther. You know the word I'm looking for. But it's when Mini Wale or Makoma will actually write letters to the crown themselves, documenting the evil shit that was going on in our towns. You get me? So
Yeah,
that can be found with the Spanish, with the English. That you think the English would send something back to England like, oh, the Indians complaining. Like, nah, fuck that. Like, that wasn't their goal. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah,
when it came to writing things down about us, especially those that were the warriors, they had to make sure that they didn't speak on us in the fashion of being political, of being somebody that was actually organized. And this is why also when you start doing more research, you will notice only specific clans are mentioned. You get me? It's because those are the specific families that did business with, that even did business with Europeans. So Yeah, that's what that is on my end. Anybody
Right.
else want to?
I mean, if you ain't doing
Yeah.
business with them, they ain't gonna document you, and that's just that.
Yeah, they want.
That's just the end all be all when it comes to them
Yeah,
folks. If you ain't doing
yeah,
business with them folks, why would they document you? Like, just think about it.
yeah.
In the mindset that they was in back then, money grab, land grab, take.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
They were Diddy boys. I'm
come on.
telling you. Take
No
that. I
Diddy.
swear to God.
No, Diddy.
Hey,
No
I'm
what?
glad
No
I'm
Diddy,
glad we was
man.
able to get that point across for the viewers, because I know that's something that, like, I'm I'm not gonna lie, we building, but what we know and what the viewers know. So the questions that I'm gonna ask is something that a viewer might be thinking in their mind. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why I even asked that question. I knew the answer, but I knew that the people viewing, they might be like, well, why are we hearing it from, you know what I'm saying? So I just, because, like, I remember Lanier, you I want to say it might have been even last year when you was talking about when you was touching on the Yamasi, and they had records of the war of 1715. Like, I got in my book right here, I got an actual written out passage by General Thomas Jessup himself to President Andrew Jackson, saying that, oh, this isn't an Indian war, this is a Negro war. Them is his direct
Yeah, of the
words versus
Seminole Wars.
research. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's his direct wording in a letter to President Andrew Jackson versus we getting the research, and I know that people gonna be thinking like, dang, like, is this really how they? This is what they was saying. So the accounts that we getting are firsthand sometimes and secondhand as well. But to break down that difference between the two is a, I feel like, a question that maybe a viewer might possibly be thinking. Appreciate it.
I might
Nah.
I add, I don't know how to say your name, Lamante.
Both of them, it's the same.
Got yeah, hey man. I like how you like giving that viewer perspective though. You feel me? Because that's real though.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And the people on YouTube, literally like, what's wrong? Oh shit! Hold up, y'all boys.
That's the I named you. Hey, hold up. Hold up. Let me see. Monte, you know how you was talking about that letter with Jessup, that he wrote to Jackson, right? During the Second Seminole War.
Yeah, yeah.
It's I want to know if you ever heard about this. You ever heard about them having that meeting down here in Florida? And he was saying every time, it was like every time he said something, it was a Negro in the corner making grunts. And he was like, he thought the Negro was just a slave, but he found out that was the decision maker. I gotta find that too. That was dealing with Thomas Jessup them in that war in the Everglades. Cause basically, I think one of them told a man, like, basically, like, shut the fuck up, basically, on some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
we're finna get on him, like, bro, that's the chief. Boy, you think that's a Negro, but we'll get on you by him. Like, you get what I'm saying? So
I
let
need
me
to see
see.
that, dude. Yeah, that's a dope find right there for me.
Hold on, Panther. I got something for you. I know you know about this. And the numbers differ. Sometimes it's 21, sometimes it's 22. If anyone watched the live last night, I actually explained that. Hold on, who's in the live
Hey,
chat?
I ain't gonna front. I don't know Muskogee or Choctaw. What hits you mean?
That's a greeting, bro. See.
Hintsy?
Peace.
Hintsy.
What's going on with your family? So look, peep this. Let me share the screen, right? And this is something that has to be talked about too. This is something. This is a real anthropology book. I don't make this shit up. If I have to go get it out the house and show the people the actual paperwork, I will. So it's talking about the Westo. Now, not the Westo, but the Altamaha. So it says in February of 1685, a group of perhaps 50 Yamasis under the leadership of Chief Altamaha descended upon the interior mission of Santa Catalina de Afua, or Africa, excuse me, in the Timucua province, burning the town, killing some 18 Indian residents, and taking away 21 slaves and furnishings from the missions from the mission church. Says they took slaves, they could take back with them. The slaves were taken to Stewartstown, where some were sold to an Englishman from Charlestown, and the rest to an Irish ship, bringing more colonists. So that was a swap. The the this group of Yamasi literally swapped out the Timucua with colonists. And this is not just any book. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, this ain't just any book. Now, what we gonna read, what you peep here is this same guy who was giving guns right here. And this is why this is why I say, bro, you have to read to tie this in. So it says right here, shortly after settling at Charlestown, the English sent Henry Woodward up the Savannah River to treat with the Westo. Woodward was able to negotiate a peaceful alliance with the Westo, and for the next several years, they were close allies of the English, who supplied them with guns and ammunition. Here is Dr. Henry Woodward right here. Now, what does it say about what he was doing? It says that Woodward was deep in the Western interior, busy laying the groundwork for trading relations that would shape the battle for control of the Southeast for years to come. So this is a European that already knew the indigenous people in the Southeast were at war. What he chose to do is, because they needed to take the coast, he went and got people from the interior. And at the end, they let you know, once that was done on the coast, Wale and Macoma had played their role, and the intention now shifted to the interior. So not only in the Seminole War or during the Second Seminole Wars, but even during, you get what I'm saying, the beginning of colonialism, this type stuff was going on. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So this is nothing new, because in this same text, it say Wale, it'll show you Wale language, but then it'll say that we interacted with Muskogee speaking people. It'll say Yamasi language, but it'll show you that they interacted with Muskogee speaking people. But then what happens is the anthropologists do what? Classify all their language as what? Go ahead and guess it.
Muskogee.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
I'm just gonna go on record and say Muskogee just a trader's language.
Right, it's just a trader's language. Now, Auntie in the comment, she says, were the Westo Europeans? Let me see. Here. Let me show y'all something. This again is why I say it's okay to actually read, but you got to read the right things and you got to use discretion. So this is let me share this for y'all, and it's two things I'm gonna show that's gonna give a clue to who the Westo were. Panther, you still on here, cuz?
Yeah, I'm still here, fam. I'm still here.
You know, we had that conversation about some Westos settling in Yuchi towns and stuff like that. But you know, certain paints are a dead giveaway.
Right.
So it gets interesting. This gets real interesting. So let's talk about the Westo. So this says in fall. Wait, let me scroll down one time. In fall of 1659, Governor Argan, how would you say that? Let's see. Come on, Auntie. Let's see what she pronounced this. Let's see how Auntie would pronounce this.
Aaron Gaweed.
Yes.
One moment. Let's see if she can catch up.
Man, fuck it. The Westo had European fathers, man.
And cause that's
Ooh, what just happened? It quiet. I stepped away from the phone for a little second.
I can kick your colors out. He's on broadcast. He gonna have to call back in. He'll get back in here.
Okay, for sure.
They do this every time the conversation get deep.
You ain't lying. They stopped the live on YouTube as the conversation get deep. They stopped it.
Hey, can we touch back on that question? Were the Westos European?
man, listen, man.
I'm on the I'm on the conclusion that they was mixed Aries with
Yeah,
European.
I'm about to say how that. Listen, hey, I ain't gonna front. I agree. How I feel is that you know like a lot of certain tribes when they got later on in the years like after European contact and shit, like they had white fathers and shit, like a lot of them had white
right.
fathers, you know what I'm saying? And with
When it comes to
with that being plausible shit, them folks, you know, it's been a trend among so many nations, man. It's just sad that they follow after their white fathers, and they do they come with that same mentality, regardless of the culture that they come from, and regardless of you know, it's like back then. Once they got with a white man, like, you know, it's for shit show patriarchy and everything the fathers say go. And you know, you have a choice whether to pick up what your mother says, but you don't have a choice to pick up what your father says. He said, I'm saying you
Right.
have to. You have to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that was the case with a lot of people back then. Like a lot of Indians back then, when they have white fathers, specifically, there's an obligation. You see what I'm saying? There's an obligation to follow out his rule, to follow out, you know what I'm saying, his plan that he set forth or that they set forth, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of them did that, and then you see the results. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like the West though, like the UT in Tennessee, you know what I'm saying? I went from past to present day.
Yeah,
You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's it's a lot, man.
facts. And what I want to, let me see if I can find that here, real quick. So this is 1659. This is going on. This is before the Yamasi actually got to uh the coast. So pay attention, right? It says, although at that early date the identity of these Indian intruders was unknown, the governor later referred to these warriors from the north as the very same Chichimiko who carried out the raid attack in 1661. And this attack in 1661 was on Wale. So after they hit Appalachia, they hit Wale, and we also just read that they hit Tamukwa. So, and these were an interior people with a certain look that was completely different than what the Wale and the Makoma even known themselves. They didn't get it. They didn't know who those people were. Like, so some of them didn't know what were, because it is documented that some did know who they was. Now, let me see if I can share this.
Because that was their cousins.
That was
And
their cousins. You know
they
that, bro.
cousins, that was their cousins and their little nephews, man.
Like, bro, when I told people that the Alabama had got pushed to Ohio by the Muskogee, somebody should have peeped what I was really telling them, bro. A lot of these people closer than they think.
Got
Let's
their ass
see.
whooped all the
So,
way to the Ohio.
hell yeah, boy, I ain't gonna lie. But you know I'm an Aztec warrior. I swear to God.
I ain't lying,
The Muskogee jumped on
Charlie.
them people ass, bro. Oh my God, bro. The
But
Muskogee
listen though,
jumped.
man, Ty, listen, and I'm gonna touch on this. You feel me? Because I feel like a lot of people don't speak about this, but like, okay, so like, you know how damn, you know how okay, so like I say, what Aztec, Mayan, all them folks, you feel me? All them folks down there in Mexico. Them bitches is little. Oh, I'm sorry. We live. We live. We yeah, my bad, Chai. Okay,
That's that corn.
they're very small statured. So when they made their way over here to the southeast coast and they ran into all these folks, conquered all these folks, consumed all these folks, intermingled with all these folks, and kept going, they started to get those genetics
Yeah,
to better conquer people. You see what I'm saying?
fact.
And man, I feel like I don't know, that shit just not spoken on, but just like short statured people, and they are, you know what I'm saying, this is like historical facts, like, you know what I'm saying, people who are smaller tend to lose battles a lot, see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And um when you and that's not to say that everybody was, you know what I'm saying, small statured, of course not, that's idiotic, but you know what I'm saying, for the most part, and even still now to till this day, I'm 6'3", Chai. I might be taller than every Aztec that claim that they're Aztec. See what I'm saying?
yeah, nah, yeah.
You
But it's the
feel me?
thing. and that go with Wale, bro. When they find bones over here, what they say? Damn, he was 8 feet tall.
Yeah, facts. They be tall. They be tall, Chai. That's what I'm saying.
Damn, this nigga had horns. Oh, my bad. I should have told him that. Now they finna go post that shit. Hey, fuck it. It's niggas they found in mounds with horns, man. They done found people in mounds with horns. She say, let's clarify who attacked who. This is the Westo attacking the Appalachie, the Temuco, and the Wale. Now, before we continue, cuz, and then I want to get back into the free bill. Check this out, y'all. This is gonna show the division in the town. Y'all know what town I'm talking about. Watch this. I was already on this page. Let me hit up. All right, so let me hit down, see if it'll open up. All right. So right here, where it's talking about an exchange going on. And it says that in order to learn the language of the Indians and the son of the Cacique, but it's really Cacique. That shit's crazy. If you hear a Spanish person say it, you'll be like, what? It's talking about the chief's sister was sent away on Sanford's ship. Although the Miku or the chief wanted Sanford to return in 3 months or 5 months, Sanford promised to return in 10 months. And the Indian sister promised to care for Dr. Woodward so her brother would receive good treatment. The Cacique or Cacique, right, the chief, even went so far as to place Woodward on his throne, granting him possession of the whole country in the name of the English Lord proprietors. Listen to that shit there.
Chai, you should have had it on screen. You said they granted him
Oh,
what?
it wasn't on the screen? Bro, I just had it
Nah,
on screen share. Let me go back, bro. Let me see if y'all can see it.
I'm saying, yeah,
Let me
I
see.
couldn't see it on the screen, but oh, here it go. It popped up. There it
Let
go.
me see
Right.
about you got it now?
Yeah, I can see
Right
it
here.
now.
This is it, right? Okay. So let me type in her brother. Did I type in her brother? It should come up a couple times. So let's read this one about her brother, right? It says the primary informant was a Christian Indian named Diakon, which should be, I think it's Daikon, right? Daikon, who is said to who was said to be a native of Santa Elena, who spoke the Wale language. He indicated that early in February 1672, he and 4 companions had gone to Charlestown, where they saw several ships carrying new settlers and about 30 houses and limited fortifications. You can mute your mic for me, cuz. Both on the way to Charlestown and on his return voyage to Santa Helena, Daikon indicated that he had spoken with the Kakika or the Mika of Ospo. It says, indeed, her brother accompanied the group to the English settlement, who had provided intelligence regarding the English to the Spaniards in 1671. The Cacica did not wish to go to St. Augustine again, since the other time she had arrived down to Santa Catalina to see the Spaniards, they had sent her to St. Augustine, and thus she did not wish to come because she was very afraid. Because St. Augustine had been attacked by the Westo. After returning to Santa Helena, Daikon proceeded southward to Santa Catalina without his first companions, because arriving at his island, he found that the Cacique or Cacica of Santa Helena and other principals had died, and thus the rest counseled of the others. Excuse me, the rest of the Indians counseled the others not to come here, since they would occupy a long time. So I guess it's not somewhere they could. But basically, what's going on is when the English had settled the town of Oshpo, right, or Oshposh, which eventually became Hashpa, actually divided. And the reason they divided is because some decided to stay in Florida and actually fight the Westo and the encroaching people that would later become the Yamasee, and others chose to go join and become known as the Yamasee. Having come from their towns of Santa Elena and San Jorge, the Indians arrived to trade deer meat, bear fat, and other animals. A pagan Indian native of the settlement of Santa Helena had arrived in Santa Catalina the previous year on a similar mission, trading beans, acorns, nuts, roasted deer, and fat, which is an ancient custom among them. And most of the Christians do it, and they trade it for clothes or beads. This latter Indian was interviewed in the Wale language, confirming the fact that the inhabitants of Santa Helena spoke a language at least similar to that of Wale. The cultural identity of the Indians living in or around Santa Elena during the 1660s and 1670s is far from clear based on a variety of English and Spanish sources. As discussed above, although in 1663, this region was still described as the province of Escamucu, a name associated with unconverted Indians in this region throughout the early 17th century. It was at that time inhabited by recently arrived Yamasee. So when people say that I'm creating the separation, I'm not creating the separation.
There's
The
been
separation
one.
was made, was born. There's been one. Facts. There's been a separation.
And that goes into dang, I just had it in my head. That goes into what is it? The oh my god. I just had it in my head, bro. Um damn. Fuck.
Free your mind. You need to hit that joint. I know it's over there somewhere.
Man, what? But that goes into can you always talk about this Chai, man? It goes into the catch-all names. It goes into
Uh-oh.
the catch yeah,
Yeah.
it goes into the catch-all names. Just like just like people uh come together and become what's known as Seminole, but then everybody knows, okay, Seminole is made up of a whole bunch of people. Seminole is not just one. Seminole is not just one
Facts.
people. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
With one language.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
facts. And the thing is thinking thinking like Europeans, bro. Trying to
True.
make everybody one so you feel like you fit in. Like it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? Like everything not for people, bro. I don't
Right.
think they really get that.
And then the core, and then just to add a bit more, the core, of the Seminole Nation, like in present day, claim to be they claim to be descendants of the Calusa.
Yeah. And I also met some that actually claim to be descendants of the Mayans.
Oh yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, right. Of course, yeah, me too, Chai. That Mikosuki riding hard. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, they do though.
Well,
They do though.
they
Hey,
riding hard, but they let you know they got their migration story and shit shit like that.
facts. Fucking facts. And for anybody to deny that, it's like, I ain't gonna lie, that's a big cat. But when you can hit a cat footprints walk through the yard, bro, that's a big cat, bro. Like, dang, that's a big ass cat. But I think the generalization comes from wanting to fit in. It's like saying, it's like when bitch be like, oh, my grandma Cherokee. Like, if your grandma ain't like Monte, bro, you might as well not even say that, bro. You feel me? If you ain't got
Big
that P
facts.
Right.
dub, if you ain't got that P dub, don't even say nothing, bro.
Hey,
Chill out.
now what you say? What you say? If you can't trace your people back 4 generations, Don't even talk to us.
Don't even talk to me.
Don't even talk to us.
What you talk? You want to talk to me about America as Egypt, but I asked you who third great grandma is. You can't even tell me.
Nah, for real. And you got multiple third great grandmas, nigga. It ain't just one. You know what I'm talking about?
And you know what I'm saying? And what happens when people fit the criteria of the disenfranchised Indians? Like you see what we talked about the woodwork dude, right? His
Yeah.
great grandson owned some Yuchi, and he said, "Oh, I got some Yuchi Negroes that speak Yuchi, Hichiti, Shawnee. They speak Creek and they speak Seminole. Hell, they speak English and Spanish too."
Facts.
Okay,
Facts.
so it
Hey,
just
man,
wasn't the
I
Yamasi
aspire
that
to
was
be like them
multilingual;
boys.
it was us too.
Man, I
Mm-hmm.
aspire to be like them boys, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like nigga, that's some
Facts.
a lot of Indians.
Facts. Because
This might be a bad comparison, but a lot of Indians back then was on some like on some real like Dr. York shit, like with the languages shit. Like them boys knew 5, 6, 7 languages. You heard me? Plus they
yeah,
own.
cause it's plus they own, bro. Plus their own.
If that don't tell you something right now about how intelligent a motherfucker is, like you can look it up right now. The more languages you know, the more intelligent you is, and that's for shit show. Them boys are smart as a fuck.
But the more languages you know go beyond IQ.
Facts.
Facts. Your brain get bigger. Because not only are you speaking that language connected to exactly what they mean. You get me? So the idea of how things are expressed is what, expand the brain when you learn a new language. It's like finding Wale in all these different languages and somebody be like, Wale means the South or some shit like that. You get what I'm saying? But when you put it all together, it makes sense. And it make you feel like your head big as fuck when you actually say it.
Come on, man. I aspire to be a genuine Indian, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't enough genuine Indians, man.
Facts. And ain't nothing wrong with um it's nothing wrong with being born disenfranchised and working your way back. Especially when you're doing it the right way.
Right, you just gotta come correct.
Yeah.
You just gotta come correct. Shit, you'll find out what's correct. Goddamn, the more you keep going, what's correct and what's incorrect.
Actual fact. That's why I don't be stressing, bro. That's why I be like, when dealing with how we build, bro. Like that's why I don't even stress when people be like, oh, that's separation, because I get that a lot. It's like, damn, bro, how is
You
Wale
do?
speaking about what? Bro, I get that a lot, bro. I get that.
Uh, but well, that just shows what information people got. You feel me? Because if you get that a lot, well, you said it, so I know you get that a lot. So you get that a lot, right? So it's like it's just telling. That's the for the people who tell you that, it's telling for them and the information that they got and the information that they don't have.
Yeah,
Because if you had the information, you would know that it's been a separation, and that, you know what I'm saying. The only time that it was unification was 1715.
Think they
facts.
more looking at it like
Especially
on a they still look at a color scale, bro.
That too. But that's a factor too. Like you right.
yeah,
We not too far removed from being so-called colored, Negro, black, or whatever, as far as those people that want to say, "Oh, I'm native this, I'm native that," and then they think it's gonna be a division. It's not
yo,
really a division. What they don't really understand is, and this is tried. It's always been this way. It ain't never not been this way. So it make more sense when we can sit up here and know who our actual people is versus to sit up there and what they was doing was this is a part of the collective. Nah, bro, it
Right.
don't come, it don't become a collective until the people are forced almost to actually mix together, whether it be by
Fact.
trade or war or whatever it may be. But technically, we all know that like how you broke it down, like, hey man, some stuff just come before certain things. Some stuff maybe come
Fact.
way before certain things. So that's how I'm looking
Milky.
at it. Like they just don't know that. Look at the young life. I
Yeah,
see.
but like not but that and uh it's again that be the European in them, bro. And I
Mm-hmm.
told somebody that it really be the European in them because there's no way you feel like the guy like like well I'll use an example from my comments. There's no way that we have 5 nations at the table and they don't have a voice. Only you know what I'm saying that control is coming from one place. That's really also what messed up the people too. Is like in order to do business with Europeans, uh they had to put certain people in charge. You get me? In order to do business with Europeans, they were giving their daughters away. And I know you brought up the clan system, so this is something that we can go into now. Like you think we should have that conversation now? We can have it now, and then I do the bill later if you won't.
Okay, well, I'm gonna add to what you just said about them giving their daughters away. You know what I'm saying? The perfect example of that is the same way in Louisiana they had little back alley clubs that the white men used to go to get them a little taste of colored women, and the colored women's mamas and daddies used to dress them up and take them there. You know what I'm saying? Willingly. You know what I'm saying? Like so these white men could get them a taste of some mixed black women. Like they 9 times
Yeah,
out of 10 always had a white father. You feel me?
right.
Some of them didn't, but majority of them did. And just because there was a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just because there was half or quadroon or octoroon, whatever. If they felt like you was a colored person, they like, oh yeah, I ain't never had no colored person. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah,
was, it was very
it's a
similar to
fetish.
that. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
gave away their daughters literally.
yeah. And what I peeped too is a lot like a lot of families did that, but it was more specific families that was doing that. You get what I'm saying? Um, Especially Wynn Clan. And I've said this a while ago. Um, I've noticed that Wynn Clan chiefs they tended to give their nieces away to Europeans for a commission. That was like
They
some
was
shit they did.
bogus.
Yeah,
When Clan was bogus ever since they started doing business with them people.
yeah. And what's wild is I noticed last night that I say, when you read things, when you read them, when you read them often or you read them more than once, you see things that you didn't see before. And being that they attribute Wind Clan to being the first that actually crossed the river, that's also why Wind Clan had all the power in that nation. So that's something that gotta be or that's something to be talked about too. Cause it's like shit, you can't limit every clan and then say Wind Clan got all the power. That's like saying one chief got all the power over everybody.
Don't that remind you of something similar right now? Something similar is going on right now.
Definitely
That
Man,
ask
cut
that
that say
question too. But but but
man.
but that stuff can all be fixed, man. It just gotta. That's ego still.
It is ego and it can be fixed, but
yeah,
ego is a hard master to conquer. You know what I'm saying? For to each his own.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. It's like with Wale, with the majority of the Wale becoming Yamasi or even a part of the Confederacy, that means that the majority of Wale identity got lost.
Dagger. And I wouldn't even say
But the bloodline still
and I
exists.
wouldn't even say lost. I would say cause I would feel like they wouldn't behind closed doors they wouldn't lose their language, but in a sense they gonna lose they gonna lose their culture and stuff because the
Yeah,
Europeans
cultural
the
identity.
Europeans going the Europeans gonna write them out of history. What's the bigger name? Who y- damn who
But
y'all
but
fuse
even
with?
but even though you say the European go write about in history, they also threw the context clues to put them back in history. Like reference to this song right here. They came out with a whole
Right.
show called Gullah Gullah Island. What was it based on? Come on now. So they really threw it back in our. They might
But
have they might have tried to erase it.
the difference is, yeah, they definitely tried.
But you also to know that even to reclassify or what was the word not reclassify but dang man, hold on, I got the article because
Did
I
you
just
just
pulled
say
it
it?
up.
Did you just say it?
I meant no, I said it earlier. That's why I got to bring it up. uh it's right here because I was just reading it. Dang, it's I don't know, it slipped my mind. Maybe I need to put one in the air too. Hold on.
Hold on.
Dang, I just had it. Okay, yeah. To collectively put people together as one, that still don't erase the bloodline. So
It
to
doesn't.
even and not at all. So they could like they could say on paper, oh, this tribe became extinct, or what could it say? They dropping zeros off of it. What was 1,500 might have been 15,000. They just dropping zeros off. So no matter what they could do that on paper, but truth is like it's gonna come around full circle like it came back with us. Now I'm gonna say this. This might not be facts or anything, but me and my big older cousin few years ago when I came into knowledge, we had a discussion about hierarchy. Technically it would have been the clan system, but we didn't know clan system when we first started talking about this, but we was talking about the hierarchy. And what he was saying is like, yo, after your ancestors pass away, who take the torch? And I said it then goes to the elders. But when the elders become of age, what do? They govern the youth to speak for them. So we've lost track of that in our family systems, but it still comes around full circle because how we came to the knowledge is we started to realize like, dang, we only 3 generations removed from that. So if we only 3 generations removed from it coming 360, the next 3 generations gonna pick up two, and so on and so on. So I don't know, man. To me, it feel like that whole 4 generations, you got to know 4 generations of your family to before you come holler at us. It's because we 3 generations removed from them ancestors, and them ancestors still got our bloodline running coursing through them, and we got the same coursing through us. So it do come full circle as far as we eventually gonna open up to the knowledge, especially in this age of information. We gonna find out the truth, and we gonna be able to discern from the uh bull crap and what's real facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
you ain't lying. You ain't
What I
lying,
will
cuz.
say is what I will say is this, right? The good thing is that a lot of the people that descend from the Wale um, kept hold of a dialect of that name. You get me? But still, the cultural identity was lost. When if we ask someone that's a descendant, they wouldn't know the language, right? Certain ceremonies or the majority one wouldn't know, even though we kept small remnants of them.
True.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like you said, the name and then even some aspects of the culture we did keep, but as far as the overall cultural identity, it was lost. And let me tell you why I would say that, right? Imagine if Monte, imagine this. Imagine if someone said that your family was extinct um, in 1650, right? And you know better because I'm here today. So how could we be extinct? You get what I'm saying?
True
But
shit.
what happens is when those people became known as other things, they no longer became or were classified as their own or themselves. So think about it like this. You remember how
So
AI say Wale is Muskogee? That would be a case of lost identification because it's some Wale today that claim to be Muskogee.
true.
I agree. Hell, the entire state of
And
Oklahoma,
the
where
the
I'm at,
best thing we
is a
can
lost
do,
identity. Like, be real.
You in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
yeah,
Boy,
yeah,
your
bro,
ass
Oklahoma.
goddamn close. Your ass close to them folk, boy. Hey, listen, them folk can't come back to the southeast.
Hey, let me be honest with y'all. I know y'all ain't been to Oklahoma, and it might not show it on the maps. But when you I just told Cuz that I said, hey, I'm riding down to Muskogee. Didn't I tell you that I was going to Muskogee, right? So
Yeah,
when I drive down to Muskogee, they put a highway down the middle of the nation. You go left, you go to the left, Cherokee Nation. You go right, Muskogee Creek Nation. But they really don't like each other.
Of course, they been had beef. Shit, Cherokee had beef with the Yamasi. You know, some of them didn't, but you know what I'm saying. Cherokee had beef with the Muskogee. Cherokee had beef with goddamn
Choctaw,
Choctaw, the Westo. Even though they were doing the same shit,
same shit. Yeah.
they still had beef. Like them for and what I heard was a lot of Cherokees used to like call, even though like they have, cause see Panther should have really stayed on here, especially since we talking about this Cherokee shit. Um, they they had you know
I'm hold on. I'm gonna call him and see if I
people,
can get him on so he can put on that.
the ones from up north, the ones I'm gonna say the ones from up north, not the ones that came from the south. You feel me? But the ones from up north, uh, damn, I gotta find the document, y'all boys. I gotta find the document. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it right now, so I ain't gonna even try. But
Bro, it even happens
I'm gonna
within
find
the
it.
I,
tribes.
I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna send it to Cuz, and I'm gonna send it to you, Nighthawk. But goddamn, I'm gonna find it though. But it's a document where it says that the Cherokee kind of called every nation that was like below their territory type shit. They would call the Flatheads, basically like kind of like in a mocking way. You know what I'm saying? In a derogatory way. You feel me? And it all boils down to that internal beef, like, you know what I'm saying, that you know what I'm saying, they I don't know what specifically happened when they were entering the southeast that made them like, oh fuck no, fuck these people, you feel me, they flatheads, we don't give a fuck about them, we gonna enslave their ass, all that shit. But something happened while they was entering the southeast when they first got here, because after that it wasn't nothing but beef except for the ones who stayed south, like the lower Cherokee. Like I said, uh Skinny Mark should have been on her, you feel me, so he could go in further about that. But the lower Cherokee was more inclined to fucking with the Wale and fucking with nations that was down here
Right.
by the coast. You see what I'm saying? But Cherokee from that north, but them boys don't give a fuck. But them boys but it's major beef.
Which
You
is
feel
which is
me?
crazy because I actually, I mean,
Oh God, yeah.
hold on. I don't know if we still on YouTube, but because I ain't dropping no names about my family and stuff. But my people was Southern. Me and Cuz already talked about it. My people was Southern Cherokee, but I also got documents. I got some documents that was showing the division between the North and the South Cherokee and why they didn't agree with each other. Now, I'm gonna go on record
Okay,
and
so
say
that's something
this.
I haven't seen.
I'm gonna go on record and say this. The first three trips to of Indian removal for the Cherokee was in the South, not the the North didn't come till way later, bro. And I'm talking about almost 100 years later. They
But see
stayed in.
that adds up, bro. I swear to God, bro, bro should have been on here because bro be talking about this shit on the daily. Like that shit add up, brother.
Yeah, bro. That the Tennessee Cherokee and them up north, they a whole lot different from the South, and they didn't like each other.
Can I?
Even
I
even
am.
Because the Cherokee that was like based in the South, and you know what I'm saying, the southern interior and coast to the coast, they actually got along with. Nick, you just calm down, brother. I'm all done with
Listen to what
with the
they
cup.
say.
oh no, I got records. I got military. I got native
I'm
military
just trying to
records
understand them,
that that
and I want to
that
ask them
people
a
some of the
question.
Cherokee. Oh, go ahead, cuz. Go ahead.
No, I mean, like I told you, I'm one of the viewers in, and I'm trying to get to where y'all at. So, I mean, when I think about the modern times, that's the division from the North and the South right now when it comes to our indigenous people, because we all live different. Like all our people live different from the North and the South.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, that's my question. So
Now that
that's what that's exactly what that is. But y'all telling me like this is past time. This is our this is our ancestors. This is our y'all understand what I'm trying to say.
it ain't even all
Yeah,
the way past time. I do get what you're saying. That's why I say I ain't want to drop no family names and stuff like that. But it's not even all the way past time. Some of it's still current. I got people in my family that was getting they stuff a long time ago, but wouldn't put the darker people in the family on the game. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I got people in my family that was getting a land and all of that allotment and all of that stuff for 100 years before I even found out about my people having an allotment. So
Yes.
it's still current today. So
Yeah. No,
man, them
I mean
people,
that too. It's current, but it's in a different. Now they have it in the. They got different lingo for it. They got different everything for this shit.
yeah.
you ain't
No,
lying,
I'm
Auntie.
listening to you guys. I'm listening. Go ahead.
It kind of remind me of the Cherokee situation. It kind of remind me of the upper and lower Yamasi, but the differences with the upper and lower Yamasi are, um, I'm gonna say the upper and lower Hichiti because I'm gonna add the Mikosuki in there as the lower Hichiti. You know what I'm saying? Speakers. Um, the Cherokee thing, it kind of reminds me of that, but the difference is with with Seminoles or Upper and Lower Yamasi or Upper and Lower Hichiti speaking peoples, um, how I feel like I feel there's more of a like there's no beef or nothing like that, but there's more of a in-house might just talk a little shit, like, you know what I'm saying, talking in-house shit talking, you know what I'm saying, but other than that,
I
it's
get
no
what
real
you, I
beef.
get where you going with that.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying
I
with
get
that.
Pardon
where
me.
you going. I get it. I get it.
Check me out. Check me out. It's pardon me. This a part of y'all conversation. So I know I had stepped away from for a minute. I'm gonna drop a couple references. Y'all know I've been dropping these if y'all actually watch my work. But um the
Do your
book,
thing, beer man.
the the book, Yamasee Indians of South Carolina. On page 44 is talking about unification, and it's unification in a different way. So it says that in 1740, Governor Manuel de Montano received an extraordinary letter from Caesar Augusto Yamasee Chicali, king of the Indians. So this was a chief who titled a letter. With his title was the Yamasee Cherokee. If we speak English, we would translate it in English,
What
right?
he was telling me.
That's the unification. Now, in this one, the Catawba Nation, that's Caesar Augustus. This one is dealing with a total different chief. And if I'm not, it should be on like page 38 or something like that, or 48, one of these. But the chief name is Charity Haggie. They call him the Lone Warrior, or the Lone War. Excuse me. He's the shaman, the shaman of let me see, Charity Haggie. Charity Haggie. Let me see what they call him. It's a special name uh they actually got for him. Let me find that real quick. Because they say he was a shaman, but in fact, bro was a chief. He was a Cherokee chief. And they asked him to go to war against the Yamasee. And bro said that he wouldn't go to war against the Yamasee because they were his ancient people. And what happened to him is, let me see if I can pull this up
Man, I
real quick.
always forget his
What
name,
happened to
Chad.
him is,
I remember you
You just
dropping that
reminded me the
gem
other day.
too.
I always forget his name. Don't tell me, bro. Don't tell me, bro. Damn.
there it go.
Charity.
There
That's
it
his
go.
name.
It's
God
Uku,
damn.
that's shaman of Tugaloo.
Yeah, Uku.
Are you talking about
Is it Uku or
Nado?
Uku?
You talking Nado? Yeah, they facts interchangeable.
Okay.
You talking about Nado? What happened, Carl?
What was you talking
You hear
about?
me? Oh no, I thought you said some shit. But
Oh, no,
let me
I was
see.
saying I
So,
always forget Charity Haggie name. And
the
you just
conjurer, they call him the conjurer.
right, the
That's what they
conjurer.
call him. So
We were just
Pete
talking
this.
about him the other day.
Go ahead, cuz. No, talk to me.
I said, yeah, we was just talking about
Facts.
him the other day. I
So
always
the
forget his
head
name.
man of Tuvalu. Now they call him just a shaman, but here on genie.com, they call him the head man of Tugaloo, right? Known as Charity Haggie, the conjurer, assured the Carolinas that its people no longer held any anti-English settlements. So it says he barked at joining South Carolina's military campaign, however, saying that he could not fight against the Yamasees because they was his ancient people. And he wouldn't fight against the Creeks because they had recently called the truce. And he wouldn't fight the Catawba because he felt that they weren't to blame for the war. The conjurer agreed only to fight the Savannah, the Yuchi, and the Appalachie. So I'm telling about that.
Now that actually makes
Now,
sense to
It's
the
when he
records
something
that I got.
very telling about that.
see,
Very.
he wouldn't go to war against the Yamasee because those were his ancient people. But he'll go to war against the Savannah, the Yuchi, and the Appalachia. Where do all those people originally originate? Where they come from?
Savannah, and for the viewers watching,
Mississippi.
The Savannah is the Shawnee. Just for whoever watching.
That's the
Right.
Shawnee.
The original Shawnee are the Savannah.
Yeah,
See,
they who the white folks got Savannah, the name Savannah from.
and flipped it. But said that to say, and properly it was said that to say, with him deciding not to go to war against the Yamasee and not going to war against the Creek, but he'll go to war against the original people that were of the Wale and the Timucua, right? How ironic is it that the same people he protected got him killed after he made that statement? He literally was sent to a Yuchi town and murdered. Right? Where they call a creek, but the Creeks had taken it over. He literally was sent to one of their towns and taken off the map. So with his loyalty to that nation or those nations, it did nothing for him. You get what I'm saying?
Hey,
It
my
literally
bad,
led
man.
him
My
to his
goddamn,
death.
my shit had my phone had dropped, man. Damn, man, this stupid ass shit. Okay, so look, so Chai, so my phone was on 60%. My phone was on 60% at the start of this. My shit on 1%, man.
Out of there. Out of
God
there.
damn, I don't want to.
Now,
She
now,
out of there.
remember,
That
I made
phone
that
cut
post
off.
was saying that some of my family members fought in a few exchanges, and I was when I was reading those couple of family members that fought in those exchanges, they fought alongside Seminole and Choctaw people. So, and they come from the South. So I'm like, when I started digging more into that and started seeing that a lot of the people, a lot of people don't know that some of the Confederacy that they spoke on during the Civil War wasn't what they thought it all out to be. Some of them Union folk up north was doing their own little brigades and trying to eliminate tribal people on their own terms.
Right. What I will say, hold on, let me see if I can put this up. What I will say is like with the Confederacy, not only did it deal with hold on, I got a message. Okay, not only did it deal with like you say with them, but we had our own too. And with that's two chiefs. I'm about to give another one about since we speaking on Confederacy and unification now. Here's another chief that was Cherokee. So that's two. That's Caesar Augustus, Charity Haggie, and this is. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just about to go up. So here they talk about Caesar Augustus too, but they saying like how his name is associated with that of the Roman emperor, Caesar Augustus, Yamasee Cherokee, king of the Indians. If you read it in the original text, or if you grab the Yamasee Indians book, it's actually Yamas Chigali. It's actually in the language. So let me go down here and talk about Long Warrior. So it says, such 18th century connections between the Yamasees and Cherokee were not unusual. Other documented connections include a Cherokee leader, Long Warrior, a Tanusi, who called the Yamasee his ancient people, and who once relayed that the Cherokee continued to speak Yamasee. So he was a Yamasee or Cherokee Yamasee, Yamasee Cherokee, who called the Yamasee his ancient people, and also stated himself that the Cherokee spoke
Oh,
Yamasee.
that's a dagger.
Have you heard that before?
Nah, that's the first time I heard that.
Now that I and the thing is, rarely will anyone who Cherokee admit that.
No, because the
Rarely will
Cherokee today
anyone who
hold on
Cherokee
to
speak
they
on
hold on to the language of Sequoia, the script that
that.
Sequoia created.
Which
But
is closely related to Hebrew for a specific reason, as if their daddies weren't Jews.
right,
So even the language they speak today is not the language of their ancestors,
right.
except
It's like a
those that
create.
have the
He
Scottish
created
Jew father.
a broken script.
That's an actual fact. In order to be quote unquote civilized.
Yeah. I used to always think, well, why Sequoia wrote a written language and was not an originator or a speaker of or continued not to speak the native tongue. So I always wonder, like, if Cherokee was written by, or the Cherokee language was written by Sequoia, then what was the actual language before? Now you just proved it.
Mhm.
Because how could the southeast Cherokee speak different from the Kitawa and those in the Tennessee region? That's on the
And
app. They
that's the same question we had about the Yuchi in Tennessee, because it's like y'all say y'all don't recognize this word, but this word literally was one of the main towns in South Carolina. You get me? And like the Yuchi in
yeah.
Tennessee, they also say that mound building culture is the daughter of the Olmec culture. So it's like, damn, how could you be that and you saying stuff like that? So we both could put them in the same box.
Oh man, that's crazy how I'm thinking even back even 500-600 years ago, probably even more. I wonder when the colorism really started between the peoples, because I got people in my family that that and I'm I'm light, but I got people in my family that's a whole lot lighter than me and don't rock with the people that that that's down my lineage. Sitting up here like, dang, you guys, my great grandmother got uh sisters and brothers that didn't rock with her just because of her color. And it came down full circle to now. My auntie like that. She was like, she told me stories, like she was like, when I was young, and she was the youngest child born. She was the last one born. She say she say when I was young, she said I really couldn't wait till your uncle got over to the house, because my brother, she said my brother and my sister was whipping my tail, jumping on me every single day just because I was light skinned.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna touch on your question and John Doe question. Juan Doe, that's lit. But um, it started from once they first got over here, because that was a way, color or shade of skin was a way to separate themselves from any darker tone indigenous person of the world, right? So even in the 1400s, you have them labeling certain islanders, the French labeling certain islanders um, as being swarthy or dark skinned. You get me, or what we would consider today Negro. So colorism really came when they had to separate themselves from the world. And that's how you get, the black, the white, the shit like that. So
Yeah,
that's been a thing from the beginning. Secondly, the question is Tennessee Yamasee territory? There were some Yamasee living in Tennessee, but I wouldn't consider that Yamasee territory, um, especially being that the territory they had, it touched parts of Tennessee, but all of what is Tennessee wasn't Yamasee territory. You did have some Toshia or Zoya up there. You had Yuchi up there. Lenape were in the southeast at that time when you get that the beginning of the green corn ceremony. You have the Cherokees joining in. You have the Mikasuki, which were the original, that end up leaving. The original Maya that end up leaving. So that culture ended up blowing up. So that Tennessee area was full of so many different people. Even the Dakota actually came to Tennessee and joined green corn. So Tennessee has a rich history that's also mixed with so many different towns and tribal people. Hold on, let's see.
oh, good.
That's a great question. Let me see if I can pull that up. All right. So it says meant the mountains in the east, like Knoxville area, closer to South Carolina. Carolina was Wale, respectively. That interior also was Wale, respectively. Eventually, that land was lost once it started being conquered by the West, though. So around that 1659, I don't know if you were tapped in earlier, but we actually were reading the book. You can actually buy it. I would suggest the second edition. But around that 1659 area, traders from Virginia hired the Westo to actually raid those areas. So eventually that became Westo land. It became Muskogee, then it became known as Muskogee and Cherokee hunting grounds. But that was originally Wale territory. Let's see, that's the last question now. Yeah. So, but Dylan, so because you got any questions, anything you want to touch on dealing with, the coastal islands, Wale, Yamasi, anything like that?
I did have a question. It slipped my mind when I. Can you go back to the question before?
He asked
When
was,
yeah, okay. Let me see if it hit me again. Um, dang. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So when he asked, is East Tennessee a Yamasee territory? Um, I was thinking I had a question about because when you just said the chief Yamasee Cherokee, um, and then green corn. Okay, so when we speaking on green corn, when they came together doing green corn, was that in uh organization to, I mean, coming together also to bring people within the Yamasee Confederacy?
with green corn, basically, I'll put it this way. It wasn't known as the Yamasee Confederacy. What happened, right, was this. There was a unification of two separate systems, right? If you know about the Mayans and the Aztecs, most of the old, even the Olmec, that period, or those people, they were patrilineal, right? When they came over here with their form of maize, um, and the East and the West unified, that's when we get that Mississippian culture. So that was a unification that basically had no modern day term. So it wasn't the Creek Confederacy, it wasn't the Yamasee Confederation. It was just groups of people that unified to celebrate harvest together. That's literally what it was. And the term in Yuchi or
Okay.
Zoya is actually brothers of the pipe. You feel me? Because they actually
Oh,
shared
okay.
the
So
pipe.
that's what you said yesterday. Okay.
Fact. That's what I was explaining yesterday. As to why with some people, with some tribes, tobacco smoking, or or the peace pipe, using the pipe smoking, period, is for ritual for them. But in the southeast, it was something that was recreational. You get me? But it
Yeah.
became a part of ceremony. So that's what was beautiful about the Mississippian era. Even though I do focus on speaking on Wale majority of the time, because we often overshadowed by different groups, whether it be our Yamasi cousins, you get me, some of our Muskogee cousins and things like that. So that era was actually something beautiful. Um, and I did explain the the effects on the Wale health dealing with maize, and how that affected us. But some of the building styles that the Mayans did have in that early period, when they actually crossed the Red River, then crossed the Mississippi and the Chattahoochee, we actually use those. That's why you also find a lot of Mayan relics in the southeast, because when they came, it was a peace. It was peace. That original migration um, was a peaceful period, and it definitely was a confederacy, but it wasn't Yamasi. What I will say is a lot of people try to make it that, or they even try to make it Muskogee, but it was neither. So
Okay. Another thing then, because if we know if it well, it's already proven because I got it on the app and we already just seen the maps. The Carolinas was the Carolinas was Wale. So if the Carolinas is Wale, then why would there be people with different tribes? How could they possibly not be Wale? Like, say for instance, when I came out to Carolina and when I North Carolina and I'm not in the sticks, I'm going a little bit more coastal and I'm coming across so-called Cherokee towns. But that mean that they would not originally been Cherokee. They would have originally been Wale. So elaborate on that for the chat.
what I will say is there's definitely a unification point. And it definitely that question being asked is a question I asked before, like why a lot of original Cherokee towns actually have Wale or Hichiti names to them, right? And it's because conquest. Once they got those lands by conquest, a lot of the names of those lands didn't change. Especially when you get to that Tennessee area, that mountain area they like to claim. A lot of those words are actually Uchi. So I definitely want to point that out. So now when you get to the coast, this is why a lot of the Cherokee claim to have had Yamasi ancestors, because they were actually out there. And what we called them were Chilakwi. And Chilakwi meant people of a different speech. You get me? So that was our name for them. Eventually, and they would pronounce it Tislagi,
I'm
but it's
back.
still one the same. Hold on. You got to make me do what I do. We got a new guest, y'all. Hold on. We got a new guest.
Hey man, I'm back,
But
man.
keep it on the
So
low.
get what? Chietamo, itimokleate. You know what I'm saying? Ani wiki taskaipa yoke. Chihiklo, ahikrosha. Ali akchomi. You know what I'm saying? Greetings. I am Young Warrior Tallgrass. I am well. How are you? No? What that is?
Ready?
Rice and beans?
Come on.
And you can absolutely, positively kick it on the side of the stove. Sipping on that 4-0. Nigga, fuck the 5-0 with your pit bull. Don't let them roam around, though. When the pack is loud, go ahead, you can blow. Ain't a motherfucking noose on the aisle. Already been burnt on the pile. You ain't never ever gotta worry with your
Go
mouth.
look at
Good
it.
with the gun to the back of the head of a child. Go wild. Welcome to the land of the colored. All we do is win.
Just tuned in listening.
Say what?
I say I'm still here. I'm just not gonna be talking no more. I'm gonna be tuned in listening. I'm in the car.
Good. Now I definitely need you to throw them questions because that's what's keeping it going.
Oh, that's why I'm gonna still be listening. I'm still gonna be
Oh,
listening, but
true.
every
Okay.
question I come up with, I'm gonna tap in and ask you for sure.
For sure.
For
For sure.
sure, goddamn
So
Lamont life, Lamonti life, you hear me?
let me get it right. So basically what we was talking about, bro, while you had when you had dropped real quick, we was talking about some Cherokee have Wale ancestors. That's basically what,
Oh shit.
yeah.
Hey man. Check Kolamoki out, man. That's all I'm gonna say about that one, man. Check check
Facts.
Kolamoki out. You know what I'm saying? And check with them families, man. Cause you know what I'm saying, Kolamoki, man, that's like a big old dagger with that one right there.
Yeah.
If some Cherokee have Wale ancestry, well, okay, let's put it like this: do some Cherokee have Yamasi ancestry? They do, but then we gonna take it back further. Okay, they have Yamasi ancestry. Well, the bulk of the Wale became Yamasi.
Facts.
So what does this mean? This means that the Cherokee that had Yamasi ancestry had Wale ancestry. It go hand in hand, you know what I'm saying? It go hand in
Fact.
hand, and man, is it a topic? You feel me? Because Bear Clan, you know what I'm saying? Them folks is really stepping out there. And there's also Cherokee who have Yamasi clans.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm. That's
yeah. I got a little bit. I got a little bit of bird clan in me.
yeah.
Come on, Chai.
What is the name of this? Let me see. All right. Y'all still there?
Still here.
All right. Let me do a 30-second reset and then we'll get back into it just to refresh. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Wale Origins. So this is part two. Part two of this session is actually gonna deal with I'm gonna go back to the National Register, and it's talking about the Yamasi towns and how the Wale were treated during the early 1600s. So what we did read earlier, let me share my screen to you all so you can stay entertained. Because this is a good read. And hey, Ma, how you doing with your beautiful self? Let's see. So what we read earlier, it was talking about Wale beliefs. So it was talking about traditional Wale beliefs and values were belittled by the Spanish, right? Who intended to convert these Indians into good Catholics. Also, what we had highlighted earlier was this first sentence here in section E, where it says the first mention of the peoples who later became Yamasi Indians can be found in accounts describing the earliest European expeditions into the area now occupied by the states of South Carolina and Georgia. And then it mentions the Wale. So it says that if those people that Ilion visited were the Wale, that would be the first mention of those people, and that is was at 1521. So we're here. This is where we were now on the Georgia coast. So it says these weapons were used to attack and intimidate the Westo's less armed, well-armed neighbors. And they were talking about the Wale. Says 1675, the Westo had already begun driving out Tama from the interior Georgia. Spanish accounts indicate that by that year, there already were a great many recently arrived Tama living among the missions of both Wale and Appalachia in western Florida. Many of these Tama refugees settled on the coastal islands located between the Wale missions and St. Augustine. In both Wale and Appalachia, these Tama refugees were referred to as Yamasis. A decade later, there were additional Tama or Yamasi refugee populations residing among the Tamukwa of northeast Florida and the lower creeks on the Chattahoochee River in the River in Southwest Georgia. So this we also seen here in the book, the struggle for the Georgia coast. Let me see if I can pull this up for you all. One moment. Let's see. Let me share this tab. And there was no different. There was no difference in what happened in 1715 and what was going on in the late 1600s, where it says between 1665 and 1669 explicitly state, it's talking about the census, right? Excuse me. So indeed, the fact that all labor draft orders between 1665 and 1669 explicitly state that the majority of the Indians drafted for referendo labor were pagans suggests that the Yamasis made up a significant part of the labor force from Wale and Macoma as late as 1665.
Hey, who is May the 4th be with you? Because my birthday May 4th. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you know what? Never mind. Never
Let me
mind.
see.
I see the profile picture.
Yeah, it's my beautiful mother.
Wachi. Got doggone Hickley Natagi. You know what I'm saying?
Fast. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Where was that? All right. Yeah. Facts. Yeah, Aniwachi. It's my mother. Let me see. Uh, let me share this again. Let me know if once it pop up, cause let me see.
Yeah, man. That that's Big Yachty Wachi.
Let's see.
I wish I could get my Wachi on here,
So
man.
let
My
me
Wachi
start
ain't got
here.
time.
I'm on. Chill out,
God,
man. Chill,
man.
chill out,
She
man. I
she
told you they
she
be active, bro.
hey, she know what the business is, and man, I be stressing, you feel me? But man, her ass, man, she just got down. She ain't
It gonna take the other mothers,
yeah,
cuz.
man, she ain't too interested right now, man. But she know, you know what I'm saying? She know, you feel me, and got down like cause she know our family, you know what I'm saying? She know
Right.
because she know our family and because she know what, you know what I'm saying, what the elders told me the same thing they told her, but she just ain't never took it. You know what I'm saying?
Take it there, yeah. And
She ain't,
I ain't gonna lie. I think that's for us. Like, I think it's for our generation to set it up. You get what I'm saying?
that's facts
Cause
though. That's facts.
yeah,
Set it up, set
I
it,
think
set it
it's
up for the rest of them.
facts. Let me view something real
Everybody
quick.
gonna follow suit. That's just facts, Chay.
Yeah.
Like I feel that shit in my bones.
And ain't gonna lie, when I be talking to I be talking yeah, there about that. Um, I'm okay with that. You get me? Because it's not for everybody.
True.
Especially those who aren't interested. You get me? Like, even if it's, say, like the 3 people that's watching right now, if they were the same family, that's more than enough. You get what I'm saying? And those that come gonna come. And then especially with especially with just using the family, you get what I'm saying, the family story to bring everybody together. That's gonna be the
And
way, the way to push it more.
man, it one of the like hindrances is like like okay, so like Chay, like my name Chay, my name all the way Arabic Chay. So like Pops been Muslim since he's like 21 years old, you feel me? And
Right.
goddamn so like I grew up kinda in that I'd say kinda like in that culture, you know what I'm saying? The African American or the Black American version of it. You feel me? And it's like Mom Dukes, like Mom Dukes is like more like engulfed in like either the Christianity or the Muslim shit. You feel me? She know about the Indian shit. She know, you know what I'm saying, we Indian and all that, but she don't. Like you know how it be, Chai. Like they don't like, you
Yeah,
know what
I
I'm
got
saying?
you.
And it's also the same thing with my dad. Like he'll tell you, like, yeah, we Indian. Like, yeah, my this, that, and the third was Cherokee and Muskogee or Cherokee and Yamasi or you know what I'm saying? He will say that shit. But going further and like, you know what I'm saying, really representing that shit type shit. Nah, that boy Muslim. You feel
Yeah.
on
That
the
that
guy.
I get it. Trust me. Like, when
I
when
get it.
when I used to have those conversations years ago. You feel me? But what I noticed is like most people gonna put they belief. You get what I'm saying, ahead of the
Right. And
ahead
that's
of
literally over their bloodline.
and
And even if they know
right
it or
over
not.
their own blood. So it's like the best thing that we could do is present it to them. You get me? Is like that's the
Now
best thing we could do is present it.
my
Like,
sisters are way like, you know what I'm saying, they're a little bit more interested than my or like, more inclined, I'd say, than my parents are.
yeah,
My
more
my
inclined to
parents
understand. Yeah,
my parents
yeah.
are kind of like stuck in their ways, just a
Bless you.
teeny bit. But my mama, she like coming
Yeah,
around, you know what I'm saying. But my pops for sure, he all the way in that Muslim shit. Like It ain't no. That boy is a stand up. Uh, is a stand up sooner. You know what I'm
Oh, he's
saying?
Sunni.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Y'all all the way in.
You
I bet when you
feel
was,
me?
I
Like
bet
that.
when you was legit. I bet when you was legit, the Quran was at the highest point in the house. That bit was at the
Come on,
top. Yeah.
come on, Chai. Like literally, I got about Chai. I got about boy Chai. I got about 4, 5 different versions. Goddamn in the car. You feel me? From this man.
Yeah. Let me
On
see.
everything.
So check me out, right? I'm gonna go back to something. Being that we on that, and I want to finish off about the attack. Cause let me pull this back up. Watch this. This is a point that I talking to my moms, Ani YT and Ani Bozy, right? Um, that what outside of not outside, but with bloodline, this right here in this passage, because again, this is actually the National Registry. This is a reason a lot of us, a lot of our family members put their religion over their bloodline. Is because again, it says traditional Wale beliefs and values were belittled by the Spanish who intended to convert these heathens into good Catholics. But it wasn't.
Belittle.
Go ahead, cuz.
I said it's the belittlement for me.
Right. Exactly. So it's like when they got over here with their traditions, the first thing they did was shat on ours. One of the first things they did was shat on our culture. And I'm going to show a letter. Hopefully I can pull it up. I want to put up the letter, but I'm going to read this and then I'm going to get back, because I'm going to hop back to that bill. But it says, although there may have been English-inspired attacks on Wale missions prior to 1680, the first full-scale assault occurred in that year. Contemporary Spanish documents report, that a force composed of Westo, Creeks, and Cherokees attacked two Wale missions in 1680. That's three separate groups.
Oh
Three
man.
separate groups. But then it says,
Why?
although neither suffered damage. And why is because they needed to clear the coast for the Europeans to settle. They had to get rid of the Wale in order for the Europeans to settle the land. This is the only way they could get the guns. That's what they wanted. Give us guns, we'll go get rid of our enemies that was whooping our ass without them. When it was hand-to-hand combat, spear to spear, when it was tomahawk to tomahawk, club to club, foot to ass, everything was cool. But then all three of these groups began to attack Wale. It says, although neither suffered serious damage. Over the next few years, the Wale missions were reportedly attacked, and the mission's population dwindled as increasing numbers of Wale refugees moved south through Tama settlements of north of St. Augustine. By 1686, the Wale coast was totally abandoned. Refugees fled in several directions. Many sought refuge with the Yamasis, who were located just north of St. Augustine on Cumberland Island, Amina, and Fort George Islands. Others fled inland to join the lower creeks, while still others settled among the Appalachia. So wait, the coast, as I said, was abandoned. Why? That's where the Europeans needed to settle in order to what? Conduct trade. How can you control trade without the ports?
And then I wouldn't even
or
say abandoned, man. I would say fucking dispersed. Literally, like
the people dispersed.
they
Right. They
dispersed the
were,
inhabitants for these folks to come and
yep.
trinkle their way in, and then be like, oh, the inhabitants are dispersed, and that it just all add up, man. Oh man.
It add up. Now it gets deeper. It says this situation did not remain static for long. However, neither the Wale nor the Tama, now called Yamasi, were satisfied with their treatment by the Spanish. So originally, the Wale, the Tama, and the Yamasi were three different groups. After the Wale were removed from their land, they became known as the Yamasis.
All of them.
As all of them. Even
Catch
those
all.
in Florida.
Let's go ahead and catch all.
Is the Pokemon. Mayan. This
God damn.
Bro, I gotta come on, bro. I'm making this shit make sense, bro. This is certain people's way, bro, of taking over. If we could all just be one, we'll be good. But in all of this going on in 4 years, I'll say 4 years, from 80 to 84, these people are no longer called themselves anymore. Did not show the census last night from 1681, where the majority in each town were the Yamasi. Now, 3 years later,
in Wale towns.
Right. So now in Wale towns, which would be Wale and Tamukwa, right? Or Wale and the Makoma, right? Also, these towns now became known as Yamasi. So when someone say, why the separation?
That shit crazy when you put it like that. That's crazy. Damn.
Okay, why the separation? Why? Because look what's going on, right? Check this out now. Check this out. It says, as early as the fall of 1684, people described as Yamasis began arriving on the southern frontier of Carolina. Among the first arrivals was the Tama chief, Altamaha, who had come to Carolina from the vicinity of St. Augustine. Over the next few months, many more Yamasi, perhaps as many as 2,000, migrated to Carolina. These people included both Tama and Wale, and perhaps a few people of other tribes, but the Carolina traders and government referred to them all as Yamasi.
Right. I was just about to say that shit sound like they grouping motherfuckers together like that. Leading up to before you said that they became Yamasi, like it already seemed like it was going that way. Like they about to group some people together.
About to do it because you led us off in the second sentence by saying that they were now called, and then they end up giving us the dagger in the second to the last sentence.
And then, of course,
these people
would have
both.
Oh my God!
Say what?
I'm saying, and then it's like, of course, you would have Wale and Tamukwa, moving around at that same time. Like you would have them moving around at that same time.
Look where they were, cuz they both were in St. Augustine.
Come on, man.
This makes sense as to why the translator for Makoma was somebody, Wale, who actually spoke Makoma, like the Makoma, because they were living together. But they became known by the name of another people who later became our cousins. But the fact remains is before they became our cousins, we weren't related. Uncle and auntie ain't hunch yet.
No cap.
Let me finish. So it says the name Wale does not occur in Carolina records in reference to any of these people. So when a nigga tell me that we are not on record after a certain point, on whose records? Carolina. But what happen when I show you the 1700s of us on Spanish record?
Man,
Because you're
and
dealing with the English. Obviously, this is why the name is popular. Is it not the traders that start naming these people by everybody by that one term?
the
And then it says,
businessmen.
right, the businessmen, commerce. So and then it says, okay, the name Wale does not occur in the Carolina records in reference to any of these peoples, although it is certain that many of the Yamasi was of what? What's my name? Come on, man. What's the channel name called? What's the channel name
Wale
called?
Origins of Wale Origins, nigga.
So as I tell people, I actually have this paper. Don't argue with me from the PDF because it's certain things you ain't read. And knowing me, I'm gonna pick on it, bro. I'm gonna pick on it. So when you say, "Oh, your name, Wale, the Wale were Yamasi," I'm just gonna show you Wale origins in the same National Archive. This is not somebody just making some shit up. This isn't a game. This is not a game. Now, if we continue, because if we continue, do you want to continue, bro? Because I'll definitely finish reading some of this, bro.
Go ahead, boy. What?
Say less. I'm outside tonight, man. Say less. I'm outside. Let me get back in this patio. Hold on. So now these towns that we're gonna read, we all know that originally they were Wale towns, and now that we know that the Wale were called Yamasi, so when we see the name Yamasi now at this point, starting at this point, 1684, we now have to include the Wale, the
Factuals.
Altamaha, and
Factuals.
perhaps a few people of other tribes. So at this point, it's no longer
Macomb.
the Yamasi, right? Is it Macoma, right? Because it mentioned them. You have the so-called lower creeks. Coweta joined the Yamasi. Casada joined the Yamasi. Some
Man,
Yuchi
fuck
joined.
Kawita. Fuck
So,
Kawita,
oh yeah,
man.
they can eat it, man. Listen, so we know what they did. Kawita evil, bro. From the beginning, they've been evil. So let me go here. It says the Yamasi were settled in several towns on Santa Helena Island in 1684 and 1685, but they soon were requesting additional space on Hilton Head Island. Here we go. In the meantime, a group of Scots who were settled nearby Port Royal Island encouraged the Yamasis to raid St. Augustine and its surrounding Indian towns. But who was in St. Augustine? Another so-called group of Yamasi that were Wale Macoma. In one such raid on the Temuco mission of Santa Catalina de Africa in February 1685, the Yamasi killed 18 and took 25 captives. Now that number tends to change between 20 and 25, 20, sometimes 22, 25. But what we know is the Yamasi in South Carolina came down and raided a people now known to the Carolina as the Yamasi, but those that were living in Florida. The Spanish were angered by these Scottish-inspired raids, and in August 1686, they attacked and destroyed Stewartstown and the nearby Yamasi settlements. So the English allied Yamasi that were doing the enslaving, like their Westo cousins, those that were wearing the red and black striped face paint, that came down and enslaved the Appalachee, that came down and enslaved the Wale. These northern Yamasi, or the Yamasi that were in the upper parts, they were doing some enslavement themselves.
Let's talk about it,
They were
man. What?
so
And listen,
now,
they'll even tell you about that.
yeah, but a lot of the story, because it's often romanticized, because
Oh,
they
for
don't. A lot of
sure.
people don't want to talk about how they came to Florida kicking ass. And to say, well, what they did, those were the bro. The Spanish made laws not to give Wale guns. So even when we wanted to go assist our Timucua cousins, and we did, we actually had to go to war with the Spanish first. So we would go kill them, get them, take their guns, and then go help our cousins.
Exactly, because look, if there's a law against it, like I always say, bro, if them crackers made a law against it, then that means it was going on and they had to stop it. And then once they stopped it, then they'll write about whenever they stopped it. You know what I'm saying? But I swear to God, Chai, like every single time them folks do that shit with them laws and shit, it's always something going on. That's just like banning black people from drinking at water fountains and shit. Well, it already had to be going on. They already was drinking from water fountains, and then you banned it. You feel me? Like, but this shit's so deep. Continue, Chai, man.
This
Chai,
shit
I'm loving
deep,
this
bro.
shit.
Let me
Hell yeah.
So where we at? We here. So it says, although it is not known when the Yamasee departed from their northern settlements, where they went from there, or where they went from there, they were settled. They were settled by 1707 in the upper reaches of Port Royal Sound. It seems likely that by 1707, the Yamasees had their Point Royal Sound towns for at least a decade, and perhaps for as long as 16 to 18 years. So if we look at this date and we look at this date, don't that take us to back around like 1684 when they was pushing the Wale off their land into Florida? So
yes, it is.
How could this be there when they took it from someone? If you say it's their town by conquest, and we'll talk about this later, then okay. And then we're going to talk about what they did with that land with that land they taken. And this group. So it says, beginning in 1702, contemporary documents contain numerous references to abuse of the Yamasees by traders residing among them. So the Europeans they took in start doing things. Let me tell you what they did. You can read this in the Yamasee Indians. The chiefs like Altamaha, Hospa, all their wives were getting murdered by Europeans. If they didn't have what the Europeans wanted, when the Europeans wanted it, they were killing their daughters, bro. They were killing their children, selling their children. So now you call to Florida, kidnapping them, everything. You call, and some of them were getting raped. Some of the abuse, bro. I can show the papers. I would, but I want to do that for a lecture. Pay attention for that one. I need $5 for that lecture for every head. You feel me? But what's going on is these people were enslaving and raiding the Wale and the Mokoma for decades. And then the Europeans they took in, flipped on them. And then now they want to start reporting abuses to the crown. It says these abuses included enslavement of Yamasee and their close allies, theft of hogs, guns, and other goods by traders, destruction of Yamasee houses, encroachment on Yamasee lands by stock owned by nearby settlers, etc. So they coming on y'all land, taking y'all guns, y'all food, y'all wives, burning y'all houses, doing exactly what you did to the other indigenous people. It says y'all ready?
The shit that they always brag about. The shit they always brag about, Chai.
So, in an effort to provide the Yamasee with increased security and for greater protection of their property rights, the Carolina government established the Yamasee Reserve in July 1707.
We had the first reservation.
This reserve stretched from the Copahi River. And right,
we don't tell you how we got it though by fucking with the crackers and fucking up our brethren and all that.
And that is where the romanticism comes in at. Because at what point at what point in this reservation did the Wale that stayed Wale did they have any land on their original land? Did they have any increased security for greater protection of their property rights on their own land? Of course not. They were pushed off of it. So how far did this land stretch? This reserve stretched from the Kabahi River in the north to the Savannah River in the south, and inland to a line drawn from the head of the Kabahi River to the head of the Savannah River. Islands within this area, including St. Helena, Ladies, Hilton Head, and Point Royal, were excluded from the reservation and were from the reserve. Now, why would the islands be excluded? Who was there?
Nacho land, baby, Nacho land. And look,
Who was there?
what'd you say?
Who was there?
Bruh, man, listen, Nacho land, baby, Nacho land. Like, come on now, like literally, the islands were excluded. That's
Were
a dagger.
excluded.
That's a dagger if you don't know it.
Now,
You feel me?
uh, the that's definitely a dagger. Here's another one. At the time the reserve was established, the Yamasi consisted of about how many? 10 towns. This is what we hear before, right? 5 and 5. A 1708 census give the Yamasi population as 500 men, indicative of a total population of about 1,500 to 2,000, because you do 3 to 1, right? Another census taken in 1715 put the Yamasi population at slightly more than 1,210 towns. By 1712, the various Yamasi settlements were grouped into upper and lower towns. No known document lists the towns. No document lists the towns. No known document lists the towns included in these two spatially distinct groups. But information on splats and other documents allow identifications of most of the 10 towns recognized as Yamasi. So most of these towns were Yamasi. They would tell us that the upper were mostly Wale. The other lower towns, which were indicted on at least 2 plats, were led by Chief Altamaha, who resided in the town of the same name. Nearby were the towns of Okate and Ichisi. Just to the north of these 3 towns were Yuha or Yoho, right? Who arrived in Carolina in 1703 and were provided with land to the northward. So people were even given land in Yamasi settlements, but these lands were Wale lands. So what really was going on? The upper towns were composed primarily of remnants of the Wale. Although remnants of other groups may have been incorporated into these towns, Potocaligo was the head town of the upper division, and the Potocaligo chief appears to have been able to speak for all of those residing in the upper towns. Pocotaligo, Pocosabo, and Huspa were all upper towns, and I believe were occupied based that people of Sapala or Sapella had recently arrived in Stewartstown. So I spoke on this, and someone went to live amongst the English in Carolina. So
Hey, Carl, you can hear me?
how could that? Yeah, I can hear you. You couldn't hear
Carl,
me?
you can hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
You can hear me? But I can't hear none of y'all. I don't know. Nimki did something to my damn
You couldn't
phone
hear me
just
when I was
now when
reading?
I had walked away. Got down real quick. I'm gonna join back. Hold up.
Oh, nah, you good.